Hello, fifth graders! Welcome back to another exciting math lesson. And as you recall, yesterday we talked about mnemonic devices and order of operations. So Azriel, would you be willing to tell us what the acronym was for the order of operations? The letters.
Okay, PEMDAS.
Yep, PEMDAS, exactly. And do you remember what that stands for?
Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
Exactly. And what is the mnemonic device? Who are we excusing in that mnemonic device? How do we remember it?
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Woo! All right, good job. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to go along with PEMDAS. And, you know, as we talked about, it's really, really important if you're making a sandwich as an example, or a demonstration yesterday on how we make that sandwich. It's very important to be clear and precise when we're going along in math, because otherwise things can get kind of tricky. So as an example, my kids love this cereal for multiple reasons. First, it's delicious. Next, you can get Pokemon cards. So there was a sale at the store and I only had a few dollars with me. So I decided, how do I get each kid their own box of cereal and not go over my limit? Well, the sale was that if you buy so many, you can get $2 off. So this is an example of using PEMDAS. I have to look at adding them together in this instance and subtracting the few dollars off. So that's a real world example. It happens actually quite a lot when you're shopping and you're looking at things. Sometimes maybe if you're purchasing in bulk or other kind of situations. So PEMDAS can be really, really, really helpful. So what I want to do is we're going to focus on, we're not going to be covering exponents in this lesson because exponents are wonderful, but we are going to just talk about them later. I'm going to keep the E up there actually, just so that way we can remember the acronym. So we're focusing on the parentheses, and today we're going to be focusing on addition and subtraction with the parentheses. So we still want to remember the acronym PEMDAS, but what we want to remember is we're going to be focusing on addition and subtraction as well as parentheses. And as you guys remember, a two-step expression means that it takes 2 steps to solve it. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at some addition and subtraction problems with parentheses. So the first one, actually let me go ahead and take these down so I have a little bit more room. I appreciate your patience while I do this. All right, so the first one we're going to begin looking at, so we're going to have the number 15. Now 15 we're going to be looking at with this parentheses. So if we remember correctly, with this, what we do is we first solve with the P. So Azriel, can you identify the parentheses in the equation?
2 plus 7.
Exactly, so this is number 1, so we solve that. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what 2 plus 7 is?
2 plus
7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
All right, so then if we've solved this, this becomes 9. What we're going to do is then, we've solved this. This is now 9. So then the equation becomes 15 minus 9. So 15 minus 9 equals, yes, go ahead.
6.
6, exactly. So 15 minus 2 plus 7 in parentheses equals 6. Now let's go ahead and we're going to use the same equation, or we're going to use the same numbers, but we're going to rotate things a little bit around. So what I'd like to begin with is 15 minus 6 plus 7. Okay. So again, we're going to start in the parentheses, and we always work after the parentheses, we work left to right. So 15 minus 6 is, yep, exactly, 9. All right, so then we bring these down, so 9 plus 7 equals?
16.
16, exactly. So do you guys see how this equation, even though we have the same numbers, it all depends upon where our parentheses is. So those were some addition and some subtraction problems. So let's go ahead and let's solve another one. Mrs. Haysom needs to get some more cleaner for her dry erase board. That's okay, I'll grab some right here. All right, this is what she does at home with her kids all the time. Okay, so the next equation, let's go ahead and go about it. And so again, we're going to be following the P for the equation. So we're going to look at whatever is in the parentheses, and then we solve left to right. So the next one, let's start out with 18. And let's give it some numbers. All right, so what are we going to be solving first? Yes, you. Right, we're starting with the parentheses because it begins with the P. It starts left to right. So parentheses, 4 minus 3 equals 1. So then we bring down the plus and we bring down, or the addition, and we bring down the 18. So 18 plus 1? Yes, Azriel.
19.
19, exactly. Let's look at another, let's go ahead and flip these around and see if that changes anything. 18 plus 4 minus 3. So again, we're just moving the parentheses, and that changes the answer entirely. So again, what are we starting with? Yes.
The parentheses.
The parentheses. So 18 plus 4? Yes.
22.
22, exactly. So then we bring down the subtraction, we bring down the numbers. So 22 minus 3 equals?
25.
Minus 3.
Oh, minus 3. 19.
Exactly. Good job. 19. Way to be persistent. All right. So this did keep the same number. And sometimes that will happen. Sometimes it won't. So it's important that when we're doing it, to ensure that we get the right answer, we're always looking at the way to correctly solve that problem. So that one stayed the same. Okay. So let's go ahead and solve this. Is this answer correct? And when you work through it, when you're done, raise your hand and let me know why it is or is not a correct equation. Yes, Azriel.
We have to start with the parentheses.
So actually, let's start. Is it correct or incorrect?
It's incorrect.
Perfect. Okay, so it is incorrect. Why is it incorrect?
So first you have to start with the parentheses, and
Okay.
3 minus 2 equals 1.
Exactly. So then what do we do?
Then we add 5 plus 1, which equals 6.
Perfect. Now, let's change a couple of things. How do we make this original expression, how do we make it correct? What numbers could we change? So the answer that we came up with, let's go ahead and write the correct expression, okay? So it's 6. So what's the difference between 6 and 8? Yes?
2.
2. Do we increase or decrease?
Decrease.
To get from that to that? Exactly. You're right. We decrease. So what number can we modify to decrease?
Wait, decrease in what? The 8?
Yeah, so if we're going to keep it as 8, and we're going to change any of these numbers, how do we do that to get 8?
Change the 3 in the parentheses to a 5.
3 plus 5, so let's give that a go. Actually, I'm going to go like this. Use a different color. To a 5. Okay, so then how do we solve this?
Okay, first we solve the problem in the parentheses.
Okay, so 5 minus 2 equals
3.
3. We bring down this, we bring down that, so
It's-
plus.
And it equals 8.
Exactly. So one more situation is that when you're going through this, first you solve whatever's in the parentheses. We're not dealing with exponents. And then if you have any multiplication, which we'll cover later this week, or division, but then you add and then you subtract. And the addition would come after the parentheses has been done. But because this is a subtraction, even though it's after the addition sign, it's a subtraction, it follows in the parentheses first. So that's why we do that. Thank you all so much for listening today. I appreciate it.